Hello, Dream Team. Welcome back to our YouTube channel.
What's going on, beautiful people? What's going on, boys and girls? What's going on, family? Welcome to another incredible installment of Life is But a Dream with the Makhs. My name is Makhs.
And I'm Petola Makhs.
Thank you so much for all of your engagement, guys, during our spicy noodle challenge. I want to just give it up to my wife. She obviously bodied that challenge, guys. I was suffering in silence. You saw me like tap dancing a little bit. Baby, you did really well.
But you got the answers right, so I'll give you that.
No, I'll take it because I won.
Are you the brain?
I'm the winner. That's what I am. I'm the winner, guys. I won. That's all. That was my goal. Yeah. And I achieved my goal.
Well done, baby.
Thanks, babe.
Well done. And did we thank them for the suggestions?
Thank you for all of the couple suggestions, guys. You can go ahead.
Thank you so much for all your couple suggestions, guys. We will slide into one couple's DM. I think all the suggestions were amazing. We know all the couples. We do watch their channels, and we're very excited.
So very soon, the Makhs versus... Coming soon, guys. Coming soon. Spicy Noodle Challenge. We'll see if we go into the 3 times hot, or we're going to stick to the 2 times hot. 3 times. But we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. Okay. Today's topic is honesty the best policy in a relationship? That's what we want to talk about. This is basically picked up from an installment that we had 2 installments ago. What were we talking about there? We asked about 10 questions, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, 10 important questions that you need to ask your partner. And then we kind of got to the subject of honesty and transparency. And so today in this installment, we're going to unpack it.
Are you ready to get into it?
I'm ready to get into it. You ready?
Let's do this.
All right.
It was the summer of 2008. She said, I would cook a lot of time with the date. Now raise it last 10 years of matrimonial cake. We celebrate. Now we're stronger together. Never better. Go-getters, trendsetters, Black Panthers, the anthem. We the Makhs and we only getting better. Ayy. Life is but a dream.
So family, the reason we wanted to unpack this discussion is one comment that really stuck out was this one from Tsolofelo Sutlweng. Oh, okay, son of Jerry.
Stop it, I like it.
So it says, the honesty one is very tricky, I guess. What stops us from sharing everything with our partner? Does this mean honesty can destroy? How is not sharing everything protecting someone? I don't know, but can we also bring scripture to this so maybe we can see God's perspective on honesty? I don't know if my comment makes sense. I love you guys. Your transparency is releasing so many from bondage, and it is so refreshing. Thank you so much, Tsolofelo.
Shout out, Tsolofelo. That's a brilliant comment. And also all of the comments that did come in, they were really, really brilliant. So guys, today we're going to unpack it for you.
Yeah, and if you haven't watched it, maybe go back to the episode about
10 important questions that you need to ask your partner before getting into a serious relationship, something like that. Yeah.
So, what does honesty mean? What does honesty in a relationship mean to you?
Yeah, honesty in a relationship is the ability to be genuine about genuine being the operative. So is the ability to be genuine to your partner about your position, your feelings, your thoughts, your perspective, your vulnerabilities, your sensitivities. Honesty for me is just being able to be in relationship with a partner that you have that kind of level of intimacy. I think honesty is about intimacy. Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. For me, I echo your sentiments. I echo what you're saying. However, I think for me, also it means about being honest about who you are.
Yeah.
As a person, in terms of your character, in terms of your values, your morals. And I think when it comes to perspective, to feelings, what else did you mention, my love? Perspective, feelings, you mentioned so many sensitivities. I feel like we need God's wisdom to be honest to our partners when it comes to those things. Yeah, just in terms of when is it the right time to be honest about those things?
Sure, that's an important
one. When is it the right time? Because sometimes people reveal too much too early in a relationship, in the formative stages of a relationship, where your character could come into question, right? Because your partner is not prepared to receive the truth about certain aspects of your life.
For sure.
Yeah.
Or your perspective on their lives.
Right?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
They may not be in a place where they're prepared to or they're not positioned to receive it. You know, I can't help but think about myself and getting to a point where I realized that before I'm honest with my wife, before I'm honest with my friends, when I just look at my relationships with my parents, with my siblings, with my partner, my life partner, you know, who I've chosen to spend the rest of my life with, it became apparent to me a couple of years ago that I had been dishonest with myself.
Sure.
And as a result, it's very difficult. You are unaware that you are cheating your partner of who you are because you've cheated yourself of who you are. And as a result, sometimes you can be honest but incorrect.
Yeah.
Because you yourself are a little bit in the wilderness. You yourself are a little bit unsure about why you are feeling how you are feeling about a specific thing, you know? And so you try as much as possible to word it, to make sense of it, and you try to communicate that to your partner, and you're being honest in that, but there's a genuineness that is lacking from that because you haven't been genuine with yourself about why you are actually where you are about certain things.
Do you feel like when you speak about dishonesty and genuineness, do you feel like at that point you were lying to yourself or you were not fully honest with yourself?
I didn't know myself.
So you were not lying to yourself?
Well, I may have been lying to myself, but I may have not been aware that I was lying to myself.
So the reason I asked this question, baby, is because when we had the installment, when we spoke about honesty versus transparency and so forth and so on, I think for me, I was coming from the premise of when I said, I don't think it's necessary sometimes to be 100% honest about certain things. I wasn't referring to lying, you know, and I love what Tulufelo is asking us here, Hori, what is God's perspective on lying? We know that in the book of Leviticus, it speaks about, it's a commandment, do not lie. And we also know that the first sin that was committed in the garden was, you know, when Eve was told a lie by the enemy. So we do know that lying and being deceitful is not of God. It is a sin. So my stance in this, guys, I believe that because we also spoke about omission, right? I feel like if you are going to not be 100% honest about your feelings or where you are, if that omission, I'm not even going to call it dishonesty, because at this point I don't feel like you're being dishonest. I feel like if you're omitting, and if that omission is not causing you to sin, if that omission is not compromising your character and your integrity, then if you're not comfortable to share whatever it is that you need to share at that point, then it can wait for later. Or do you even need to share that thing?
Yeah. That's the other side of the coin. You know, I remember we were chatting about transparency, about honesty versus transparency, and I asked you. I said, "Well, is honesty being transparent?" And you went and did your research. I went away and I thought about it. We also spoke about that, right?
Yeah,
you
that's how we process things.
Yeah, that's how we process things.
Yeah.
I just wanted to engage like how I really felt about it. You know what I walked away with? I was like, guys, there's also so much wisdom in not necessarily always being transparent, but you can be honest without being transparent. the litmus test that you need to filter through is intention.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So what do I mean by that? Say, for example, right? What can I use an example of? So say you go to church, right? So say you go to church and the pastor's up there and he's preaching his heart out, right? There are certain things that you agree with. There are certain things that you don't agree with, right? After church, pastor's walking around and he's greeting people. Oh, yes, bless you. Oh, yes, amen, whatever. It's great, right? And then he comes to you. And then he or she is like, hey, Saint, amazing. How did you find the sermon? Did you have a word, right? Honesty. I can honestly say to the pastor, yes, you know what? Thank you so much for being obedient to Christ. I learned this, I learned that, I learned this, I learned that, right? But you also walked away with other things like, hey, at 33 minutes, 50 seconds, you were stuttering a bit there. I wasn't quite sure, and I didn't quite like your political views. Guys, you don't have to be transparent. What is your intention in that moment? So,
And I think, baby, I love what you're saying, because sometimes when we speak about, and especially I'll bring it back to the context of a relationship, if the truth or that honesty is not gonna really serve you well, and if it's not gonna contribute positively to the relationship, what is the point? Intention again, right? And we'll bring it back to this, guys. We're not talking about being deceitful. We're not talking about lying. No. Because what lying and deceit does is that it prevents you from having, you spoke about intimacy. It prevents you from being fully intimate with your partner.
Sure.
But if there's certain things that are going to take away from the relationship, because you are possibly discussing them prematurely, or you haven't prayed about telling your partner about them, then maybe not. I mean, baby, I don't need to know how many girlfriends you had before we met.
Sure.
How is that going to contribute positively to the growth of our relationship?
There was actually quite an annoying... sorry, should I say it? Like, there was a comment. Somebody was like, they even called me Lebo and Petola. They were like, what's your body count? I was like, what is that got to do with anything? Oh, my word.
Like that... You see, things like that make no sense.
Yeah, it's just like, what... For me, I'm then interrogating the intention. I'm like, well, what are you trying to... what are you trying to get at? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Sorry, my love. I wanted to come to this. I said in that installment that there are some things that I don't say to my wife. And I love what she's saying right now, that you need to... Guys, emotional intelligence has to play a part.
Wisdom, right?
Wisdom has to play a part in this.
Yeah.
There are some things that I've had to learn that, and my wife alike, right? So I've had to learn that there are certain things that I can't bring to my wife.
Yes.
With a certain desired outcome. Like, I'm just like, okay, which is something we'll talk about some other day.
But also, my life, can I interject? Those certain things also, history has proven that we cannot have those kind of relationships, those kind of conversations, right?
Yeah.
Because in the beginning, we used to have, those kind of conversations, and the reaction wasn't
what
savory,
I needed.
What you needed.
It wasn't what I needed.
Right?
So I would say to her, I'd be like, yo, I would say maybe after the fact, like, no, I didn't talk to you about that because I tried it once, and now I'm like, and I would say to her, no, I learned that, actually, this is not something that I'm gonna come to my wife with. I can go to a friend, I can whatever, but this is not something. And by the way, with her as well, there's certain things that she's not going to necessarily get from me. And so if she doesn't share those things, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's like, oh no, I've learned in my interaction with Lerato that his personality and his outlook on life and whatever. I'll give you an example. Very simple example, right? I like to give perspective, advice. I wanna, and my wife will often say, "Yo, I don't need that right now."
Right now,
she'll be like, "I don't need that right now." So sometimes, if I can't get out of it, I'm okay with the fact that she'll speak to somebody else about it. She'll speak to her sister about it. Yeah. She could speak to a friend about it. It's, you know what I mean? Now, But
that also speaks to reading the room. Yeah. And it goes back to wisdom. And I think that's why we need to go to God and ask for wisdom, guys, especially when you are in a relationship, when you are in marriage. When we started, not even dating, but when we got married, because that's when we first lived together, I was... tell it like it is. I was brutally honest about my emotions, about my feelings, and it did nothing for our relationship. It served no real purpose. If anything, it left you feeling like you are useless, like you can't get anything right. It's just like, oh my word, I can't get anything right. This woman is always complaining about something, and I had to exercise some wisdom and some emotional intelligence, but only, I think
but
I also learned... But you were being
honest
But I was being honest about my feelings. I would complain about everything. Oh, the dishes. Oh, this. Oh, baby. Oh, you didn't come through on this. Oh, you didn't do this. And at the end of the day, it just made you feel like, you know what, babe, I actually can't please you. Yeah,
because I couldn't.
You see, but
even if it wasn't that deep for you, it made me feel like, oh my gosh.
But then it wouldn't have hurt if I went back and reflected
for sure
on what was going on instead of just wanting to be honest. I didn't read the room. I didn't read the room, and it's very important for us as married people, as people in relationship, to be able to read the room. And that's where wisdom
I love that, baby, because there could be instances where I feel like, well, you can get over it now.
Yeah.
Like, cool, we've done it. Oh, great. All right. You know what I'm saying? That could be my honest feeling.
Yeah.
Are you going to be honest about that? No. Use wisdom, use your emotional intelligence. Understand that, look, what is your intention at the end of the day? And so I think somebody I remember reading a comment and I want to address it. Somebody said, keeping quiet for peace sake, never worked for them. It like frustrates them, and I'm like, no, but sometimes when you keep quiet for peace sake, and sometimes you're doing it for the next person, you're not doing it for yourself. So you think that you keeping quiet is for the next person's peace, but that shouldn't be the intent. It should be like, okay, if you're going to put something on the table, sometimes my wife might not be ready to hear it or whatever. And I'll say to her, look, we don't have to talk about it right now, but I need to let you know that ABC, XYZ. She might say, okay, listen, that's fair. Can I go away and sleep on it? And then we can talk about it another day, and vice versa.
And that's what I said, that it's important to exercise wisdom in knowing when to approach certain situations. Because you don't always have to say it in the heat of the moment. We can speak about it 2 days later. Or every time I've slept on something, I come back with better perspective.
For sure.
And also something that I want to say... Thanks, my love. I think something also, baby, that I also want to say, just to give practical examples as well. I think if you... Family... what do you call dynamics are very sensitive.
Yes.
I don't have
that's a good example.
Do you see what I mean, baby? I don't have to come to you and go off about how I
your
feel
mother.
Some people, guys, this honesty thing, they take it to the next level, where you leave your partner feeling bruised, where you're not building, where you're just
And it's like, yeah, but I'm just being honest.
Like, I'm being honest. No. Like, your sister annoys me, or your brother does this, or that is not cool.
No, it's not.
Or another example, baby, and it's something that you didn't like.
Such nice examples.
Another example that you didn't like, my love, thanks. And I used to do this a lot, where I didn't catch your vision. And I would give you advice about certain things, and I'm just being honest, you'll come up with a business idea. Oh yeah, babe, I don't think it's gonna work. You're being honest because you think, but also in honesty, it's your truth, right? Because you feel like, babe, this is not such a great business idea, but is that the right time to be telling your husband or your boyfriend or girlfriend or your wife about an exciting idea that they have that's gonna change their lives?
Yeah, that's so good.
So I think, guys, honesty is not always the best policy. And baby, another thing, I don't want to forget to make this point. Sure. When you spoke about motive, right? You can be honest because you want to condemn someone or you want to convict someone. So that is very important, right? Because when
baby, you're coming through with them bars.
Because when you condemn, you are assassinating someone's character.
Honestly.
When you convict, honestly, but when you convict, you are
building.
You are building, and you're also conviction is also directed at what someone did and not their character. So I think, guys, be careful, baby. I remember talking about honesty also. At the wrong time. We had a nanny, guys, and this nanny came for like 2 days. Baby, in 2 days she had told me her entire life story. She had told me that she had beaten her boyfriend and damaged her boyfriend's car, and this and this and that. And I was like, oh my word, this woman is going to beat us up. And I can't trust this woman around my kids. But chances are, had she waited another 6 months to tell me that story, it would have been something like, oh my word, I can't believe you went through that. We could possibly maybe not laugh about her beating her boyfriend, but maybe just be like, wow, I didn't know that you could be this person.
Lit.
You could be this lit, but I would have gotten to know her character, known the kind of person that you are.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I think that was a great conversation.
Is it done?
Yeah.
I thought you had more.
Babes. No. I'm done.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Babes, but I'm enjoying this.
You can go. You can talk, babes.
No.
Honestly speaking. Honestly speaking, you're welcome. Let's just be honest. You can talk.
No, babe. Okay, if we want to wrap it up, we can wrap it up. But I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, it's a good conversation.
It's a good one.
But I think we said our piece. You know what I mean? I think we've unpacked it. I think we gave practical examples, and that's all we meant. For anybody that was unsure about our positions and be like, hey, wait, so you guys aren't completely honest? No, I mean. We're honest, but we're not completely transparent all the time.
And also, are we truthful? We're truthful.
Yeah.
But we aren't always, what am I saying?
Well,
transparent.
Again, you see the truthfulness.
Yeah.
The truthfulness thing comes in where I'm going, can you be truthful with yourself first? Because very often we project onto the next person with no emotional intelligence because you haven't figured yourself out. And so you're trying to figure yourself out through somebody else. But then you're bruising them. While you're doing all of that, it's like, shame, this person is your guinea pig. And I understand it. I mean, look, when you're young, early 20s, you guys are probably going to do a lot of that with each other because really early 20s, you're still figuring a lot of yourself out. There are a lot of things that you're still figuring out, and that's okay. There were a lot of things that we were figuring out and it was okay.
And I think just for me, parting words, I would say that if it's not sinful, because if it's something that is causing you to sin, we are totally against deceit of any form, lying, cheating, swindling. Is it swindling?
Yes.
All those things. If it I think with if
don't be shady.
Don't be shady, and there's merit in being honest if you have been shady,
yes.
and coming to the light and saying, I have been shady about 1, 2, 3, and especially if it's going to impact the relationship directly. Me not telling my husband that I have a problem with his uncle is not going to impact our relationship, I feel, directly. But if I am, lying about, big things and money, cheating and whatever, then that is a problem, because that is just going to bring a lot of, damage into the relationship.
Sorry, you just brought a thought in. We have to go.
Yeah.
So, also, trust, right, is another thing.
Yeah.
So, if trust has been broken and there is a demand put on the perpetrator to be transparent.
Love that.
Right?
Yes.
Then humble yourself and be transparent.
I like that.
For the sake of moving forward with your partner. So if your partner needs for that moment for you to be transparent and lay it on them thick and let them know, play for play, like, I need to know what's going on, then
I like that. I like that, babe. Cool. I have so much that I want to say, but I think we need to wrap this up.
We're getting to shout outs? Shout out?
Yes, shout outs.
You want to do it?
No, you do.
All right. Shout out to Precious, Sonia, Holly, Makubela. Shout out to you. Bridget Bond, Chantel, Chidochashe, Giwa Mapfeka. Woo! Shout out to you,
shout
fam. Femke Perotti, guys, I love that, like, I love that I'm struggling with these names, because it means that we are out of South Africa. It's amazing.
Cross border.
Dinma Edwin, shout out to you. Alina Abed, shout out to you, fam. Khaukhelo Sateche, shout out to you. Miriam Maruma, Sibulele Sibu, Sibulele Sibu, Mzaidume, shout out to you, fam. Nontobego Dima, Simply Natural Bells World, shout out to you. John Shalisha, just tell me when to stop. Khomoto Moketsi, and last one, said your name, Anele K, with Anele K, shout out, and Lovely Duck. Shout out to you, fam. Guys, baby, wait, you do it. Say, let's do the whole subscriber thing or whatever, because I talk too much. Go ahead.
No, you don't talk too much. I enjoy listening to you. I learned so much from you, my love.
Stop it.
And we learned so much from you guys through your comments. Your comments really minister to us. We love hearing from you.
For sure.
So continue to comment, like, share, and subscribe, guys. Road to 40. Okay, wait again. I was saying road to 50.
Turn on your...
And turn on your notifications. So I was saying road to 50. I don't know if it's going to be 50 by the 4th of September, but I think we can do 40.
I'm good with that. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we appreciate you guys so much.
Yeah,
we love you guys so much. Thank you. I feel like we always rush through this. So thank you so much for commenting. Thank you for, it's great to get feedback, to know that, hey, we're doing something right. We love the comments. We love reading the comments. Thank you for subscribing. We appreciate all of you guys. We've got amazing stuff coming in season 2 and all of that good stuff.
Guys, you're not ready. You are not ready.
No.
It's going to be lit.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. One time, too real. Oh, yes.
Peace and blessings, guys.
We love you.
Cheers.
Bye.
We only getting better,
Life is but a dream.